What's up, dudes and dudes to the internet? My name's Scyushi, and we are back as more Trove. First of all, I know you're concerned about this costume. It's a mod, okay? So just shh. Anyways, test server is available for us on PC. So before we get into what the update entails, I wanted to let you know the way that you end up getting your main account onto the test server is you go to live server, you type /export account, one word, and then it takes like 5-10 minutes before it finally exports. Then you go to the test server and then you'll end up having your account and all of your stuff. You can usually use this to your advantage if there's resources you gotta buy out of the market that are required on the test server. Usually buy them on live server, export your account, and then there you go. Except in this case, we're gonna need a lot of Souls of the Depths, and they are spiking in their prices because of it. I'll end up having a video come out tomorrow that's going to highlight, my first time experiencing the update. But generally speaking, it's fairly small, fairly lackluster. It's going to end up adding a new 5-star dungeon to the Longshade, and in a lot of ways, it fleshes out the Longshade a bit. Excuse me, I just realized that my green screen's probably going crazy with this green background. No, it doesn't seem to be. The other main thing that they added is, in the lunar event, we ended up having the 1-star dungeons in the Everdark. Those are going to be permanent. So that's really good, because for those of you that don't know, there was a couple fish that you could only exclusively get out of those 1-star dungeons in the Everdark. And essentially you could only get them once a year. So now you can just get them all year round. That's great. And then otherwise what they do with the Longshade is they added a new quest, which again, we'll experience that in the other video, and more particularly when it goes to the live server, we'll end up doing it together. But the quest itself eventually leads you down this rabbit hole of fishing. They've added a whole bunch of new fish, whole bunch of new stuff related to the Longshade and fishing. They've also added a new delve portal that is even higher difficulty than the depth portal that we currently have right now. The depth portal that we have, for those of you that don't know, you can do at depth 170, and it's fairly impossible to do it solo. Clearly it's intended to do it as a group. Sucks for me because I usually play alone. And it's the only place that you can get the Souls of the Depths, which is the resource required in order to get Mystic Gear and stuff, which is why I don't have Mystic Gear and don't plan on getting it, because they're going to make Mystic Gear easier down the line. Suffice to say, the new Delve portal is going to be at depth 175, so it's even harder. But more importantly, the quest line will eventually require you to have a new fishing line that you can end up getting out of one of the NPCs. And in order to do so, you need to have a lot of the Scales of the Depths, 50 of them, in fact. Now, since this is just so ridiculously overpriced, it means that I'm just going to manually get the Scales of the Depths. Well, how do we do that? If, say, for example, like me, you don't have any of the new fishing. Like this is the most I've done with the new fishing. And I basically, years ago, I ended up getting the fishing badge, which required me to grind out 15,000 fish. And then more recently, like a year or two ago, they ended up adding the new fishing skill tree and all of this stuff. And I was just like, I'm out. I don't care. I've already got, I did my due diligence, right? But now, in order to get those fish Souls of the Depths or whatever, you have to have this fishing rod. So it kind of sucks, because this is how you can fish in depth pools. But in order to get this, you have to have a crap ton of Marks of the Angler, and you get Marks of the Angler from doing, these time-gated dailies. And then eventually down the line, you end up getting, these Aura of the Angler buffs. So the depth of the angler is how you end up doing it, where you can bend in your delve into the depths, blah, 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 blah. Suffice to say, I have to grind out fishing so that I can get this fishing line, so that when the update hits, I can get the next fishing line, because it's required for the quest line. Yeah. So again, I'll go into more detail about all of that in the video that I've got planned for tomorrow. Otherwise, for today, this was just a quick little, hey, check this out. This is what's going on with the update. You can read through the patch notes yourselves if you want to, but suffice to say, it's a pretty small update, doesn't really change much. And to answer anyone's question, no, it doesn't make Mystic Gear any easier. I'll have a video going through the patch notes at one point as well, but generally speaking, this video already kind of summarized most of it. To clarify, the entirety of the patch notes is literally a quest line that we just talked about, new water fish that we also talked about, the new 5-star dungeon in the Longshade, which I think that's probably the best part of this update. I want more, and then a bunch of miscellaneous updates. That's it for the update.